Thank you. Do you want it in the shop? Always keeping you on your toes, Wilson.
We're gonna have some fun today. Welcome back to our channel. I'm Carleigh, that's Michelle. Thanks for stopping by. We like to craft. We're not very good at it, but we like it. The last few years, Michelle and I have, well, since I moved back from England, basically, Michelle and I have always had like a Christmas crafting day. So one day in early November, we'll get together, and the first year we did it, we tried to do like our shopping, our painting, our crafting, and everything all on one day. And obviously, if you've ever crafted, you'll know that we burnt ourselves out.
Yes.
So then last year when we did it, last year? 2 years ago? I don't remember. Whenever it was, next time we did it, we were like, we're going to go shopping first, and then we're going to craft. And that worked a lot better. So that's what we've done today, or this time for this video, because today we are going to craft for our fall / Halloween / fun autumnal time of the year.
Yes.
So what you're going to see right now is some clips of us shopping a few days ago so that we didn't get ourselves burnt out. Michelle and I have decided to do some crafting.
Yay!
We are varying levels of crafting ability. So what we've decided to do is we are going to make some crafts of our own based on inspiration pieces. So when we are doing our crafting, you'll get to see us making things. You'll also get to see the inspiration piece, and you can judge for yourself how well we have done, if you like ours better or if you like the original better, which you'll probably like the original better.
You know what? Points for creativity and ingenuity, man.
Anyways, on that note, let's go shopping. What is it still making again?
They only have the one pumpkin?
No, house.
Oh. How many do you need?
You know, probably should have measured my mantle before coming.
Who needs planning ahead?
It is not time. We haven't even had Thanksgiving yet. Bless this mess.
Bit of a bust. Wasn't a total bust because I still spent $30 somehow. Like I said, a bit of a bust, but not a horrible bust. Dollar Tree in Canada just isn't the same as the American Dollar Tree. We just don't get as many of the really neat supply. We are going to head to Michael's now. It is 8:22 and they close at 9, and it's like maybe a 10-minute drive away. So if Michelle doesn't kill us on the way there, we'll have about half an hour shopping, and then we will be, hopefully, we will have all of the things that we need for crafting on Saturday.
My first craft was inspired by Carleigh. She has a beautiful pumpkin form that she made. And then I saw a picture on Pinterest of the same form, but with beads and twine. So I'm going to try and recreate that. I purchased the form from Dollar Tree.
Which you can get in Canada.
Yes. And then we couldn't find the beads at Michael's like I was hoping. So I ordered a whole whack ton of beads from Amazon for like 25 bucks.
Was it like 1,000 beads? I think it was 1,000 when we ordered it.
Yes, exactly 1,000. Thank you.
We ordered 1,000 wood beads from Amazon while standing in Michael's. So
classic. And then I went and picked up some just regular jute twine, but then I also bought this jute rope in case I decided that the twine was too skinny.
And that stuff came from Dollarama, right?
Dollarama. That's my first craft.
The craft I'm most excited to make today is a garland. So I know garlands are everywhere, but I actually now have a spot that I can put garlands up and they won't melt over the fireplace. So I'm very excited about that because I've recently refinished a hutch. It's beside me on this side. That's why I'm pointing this way. Anyways, I got this garland off of Amazon and it's cute as it is, but I thought that it would be fun to make it over. Use some Dollar Tree pumpkins that I'm going to probably paint these a more neutral color. I thought these leaves were really pretty, and I'm going to make some tassels or pom-poms or something like that out of this really cool yarn that Michelle and I are both going to share.
I was inspired to do a pumpkin garland as well. So I am using the light yarn and the dark yarn to make little mini pumpkins with the pipe cleaner. It'll be cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did see a YouTube video, I think it was last year, so hopefully I'll be able to find it again and link the person that I got this idea from down below.
Mm-hmm.
But they just used these wood houses of different sizes, and then I also found this one that's metal, so I'm going to see if I can incorporate this one somehow, but I'm not sure yet. And they made like a spooky scene with all of these and a spooky Halloween theme by painting and all that stuff. And then I'll use some of these tumbling tower block games from Dollar Tree. These things I find come in so handy all the time. So that's just my tip. I know if you watch any other crafting video, you'll see them use these, but I agree. First thing we're doing is all the painting, since there's nothing worse than waiting for paint to dry to finish your craft. I've taken all the stems off of my pumpkins to paint them a nicer shade than the poop brown that they were, and stabbed all the pumpkins with skewers to help me not get paint everywhere. You may notice that we're wearing gloves while painting. That's a pro tip for you. Michelle decided to forgo the stabbing part. To each their own. Big pet peeves in crafting videos is when the crafter leaves the stickers on things and just like crafts around it. It's like, just take the sticker off. Just take it off. Sometimes it is hard, but it's not that hard.
Tell us how you really feel, Carleigh.
I just did. Probably because I complained about it, but I had a really hard time getting these stickers off. Michelle to the rescue! That's why you should always craft with a friend, kids. While Michelle continues to paint pumpkins, I'm using some hot glue to fill in the little holes at the tops of these houses because I was too lazy to get wood filler. It doesn't look quite as nice up close, but it does the trick. I spent the next hour painting these houses black. Michelle, however, was kind enough to do a second coat on my pumpkins for me. At this point, I realized I should probably figure out how to make these large houses stand. I tried a few different configurations, but settled on 3 tumbling tower blocks straight across the back, and the middle being 2 deep, so 4 pieces altogether per house. Luckily, the smaller houses were designed to stand already. Hopefully you can see what I mean if that didn't make any sense. With the magic of editing, we have now finished painting, taken a break, and it is much later than when we started, and now we are going to finish crafting. You probably saw a couple minutes of us painting. It really took us about an hour and a half. I'm going to show Michelle how to make pom-poms / the pumpkins for her garland.
Yes.
So we have yarn. You can use any kind of yarn. I find that for pom-poms, typically the thicker the yarn is, the more like floofy it is.
Mhm.
If you use a thinner yarn, then it tends to be a little bit floppier.
Floppy.
Yeah. So I start by cutting off a piece, like, I don't know how long this is. This long. So I always cut off my starting piece. Oops. Just to start. And then lay that down. And then we're going to take the rest of the yarn and we're going to wrap it around our hand. You can get tools to do this, but I don't see why. I guess for like different size pom-poms, but I always put it on my hand like this and then just wrap it around. Depending on how floofy you want it to be is how many times you go around. I did 50 times around. Is that what you did?
I did about the same.
Yeah, just cut it off. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to slide it off of your hand and then put it down on top of the yarn. Right in the middle. Then you're going to take the two ends and you're just going to tie it. I like to take this time to make sure that it is as tight as possible. So I do a double knot. This is where Michelle is going to end for hers. The next step is that you take your scissors and you shove it through the end and you cut. Just cut it in half. Give it a haircut later. That's the plan. Because it's not a really thick material, a really thick yarn, it's a little bit of a floppy guy. And then you just sort of take your scissors and give them a little haircut. I'm putting pom-poms and tassels on my garland, which is why I'm making them and showing you how to make them. Tassels start off the same way, so 50 times around. This time is a little bit different. When you take this off your hand, instead of putting it in the center like we did before, you put it towards the top. So I would say like 1/3 and 2/3 is how I usually split it. You take your two ends, tie them together like we've done before, and then tie it real tight. Instead of cutting both ends, you only cut the long end. And you have a little tassel. Give it a little haircut. Make sure it's roughly the same length, and you have got yourself a tassel.
That's cute.
Aren't they? Pom-pom and tassel.
While Carleigh gets started on her garland, I'll finish my pumpkin. I need a brown pipe cleaner for the stem. Just gonna fold it in half, fold it in half again, and then I have enough for 4 pumpkins. That's where I tied my pom-pom in the center there. I'll just tie the pipe cleaner back on, just on, not back on. So then once you've tied the pipe cleaner on, you just wrap it around itself, bend it in a little hook, and then cut those strings off. And you have a weird little pumpkin. Shocking.
Michelle is getting started on her pumpkin wreath form. First, she cut the wires at the top so she can fill them up with beads. And I'm beginning to put my garland together. I started by putting the stems back on my pumpkin and I hot glued them in. Next, I am tying one of my tassels onto the end of the yarn I'm using to string it up. Then I took a large plastic needle and started stringing my felt balls and pumpkins on. Next came the hard part. I really didn't believe all those other crafting videos I had watched where people struggled to get a needle through these pumpkins, but I can admit when I'm wrong. I found the best way to accomplish this was to push the needle through as far as I could, then use the tabletop to push it even farther, and then use the pliers to pull it out the other side. It was a hassle. After a couple of breaks, Michelle got all the beads on her wreath form, and then promptly took them all off again. The part she struggled the most with was getting the E6000 and the hot glue to work together and stick the wire pieces back in place and not lose all the other beads in the process. It took a few attempts and a bit of frustration, but in the end she won. At this point in the night, we were exhausted. I'm making sure my houses are all standing and mostly black, and Michelle is stringing up her garland. The Queen has emerged. Pippa is not a fan of being picked up, but she does always get a treat after I subject her to that torture. Michelle has finally finished wrapping the edges of the pumpkin with twine, and now she is covering the stem with the jute rope to add some extra texture. We tag-teamed the stem because at this point we were just over it and wanted it all done. We added some extra rope for pizzazz, and there you go! Finally time for the best part of the video, the final products. Thank you so much for watching us craft today. Make sure you comment down below which craft was your favorite, or if you think we did our inspiration picks justice. Please like this video if you want to see more content like this, and we'd love for you to subscribe so you can join us on even more adventures.
It's tassel time.
It's tassel time.
Okay, we're good. I'm good. Here we go. Ready?
Nope.
Oh
No. No.
You're off. By arm. Yeah, that's better. But you gotta... Okay. Anyway, moving on. No. Sorry. Okay.
Well, I guess that's 4 now.
4, 8,
5.